guys, how are you? This is Lois. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and safe wherever you are. I promise to give you a very quick update in regards to immigration with this whole COVID-19 situation that is ongoing. So we continue to see a lot of frustration, a lot of uncertainty. Everybody doesn't know what's happening. There's nothing that is solid applications. People don't know what's going to happen to their applications. Should you apply, should you not apply? And I just want to touch on the various changes that have happened in the recent past. I know I did an update in July, so you can always go back to that update that I made. It's there on my channel. But then these are now the newer changes that we've seen in Immigration Canada. Okay, so if this is your first time here, you are welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I am based in Calgary, Alberta. The purpose of this information is for your information only. This should not be taken as legal advice. If you want legal advice, please make sure that you have booked a consultation. Okay? So, update number 1, Canadian borders are still closed. Yes, unfortunately. So we've seen the extension even to the US, the extension of border closures. So that continues, and the only people who can travel to Canada are those who have exemptions. So I will have that link of the people who are exempted to travel to Canada at the description part of this video. Please make sure that you check at the description part, because I'm going to be attaching a lot of stuff there. Okay? So if you're among the few people who can still come to Canada, you need to know that you must quarantine for 14 days. You're expected to do that, and you should be able to show a quarantine plan. A quarantine plan, we've said this before, you need to show like a booking, a reservation, something that says this is where we shall be living, and this is how we're gonna get food, and all that kind of stuff, to show that you're ready for quarantine in 14 days, for 14 days, such that you're not going around shopping and doing stuff like that once you land. Okay, number 4, I just want to say that timelines. This is a big thing that is frustrating a lot of people there. People send me emails, even people that I work with, and I tell them we don't know anything about timelines, unfortunately, and IRCC has said the same, that they cannot give any updates on timelines. So it's what it is. Okay, so please, if you have your application in process, there is nothing you can do. You can only wait. Please get some patience and then some. Okay, get as much patience as you can. I know it's easier said than done, but please, get all the patience that you can get out there. You're gonna need it. Okay, I want to give an update on students, international students in Canada. There are delays in applications for study permits. Yes, so if you haven't applied for your study permit, say you're coming for the January class and you haven't applied now, you are late. You're getting late, so you better be doing it today, because you need to give them a lot of time because of the current delays. Okay, also in that regard, for the study permit applications, they introduced the 2-stage authorization. That is, the first one is eligibility and the other one is admissibility. So for the first one, you're going to be approved in principle. If you get approved in principle, that means you talk to the school and you can start studying online. Okay, then you continue applying, you continue waiting for your study permit for the final approval, and the final approval is based on admissibility. On admissibility, we always look at health, criminality, and security issues. So you may be approved in principle, but if you don't pass the admissibility part, unfortunately, you will still be denied your study permit. So before you do that, please make sure that you are admissible. Okay? All right. So go ahead and do your application right now, and it's a 2-stage application process. Okay? They also say that time spent studying abroad is going to count towards your postgraduate work permit. So that is a good thing. Okay? Another update they gave is that there's a temporary policy that is allowing students to work full-time while they study, as long as they were working on essential services. Okay. Yes, so another update is about permanent residence applications. And I know a lot of people are so frustrated, especially family class and all the other PR classes. So for the people who had been approved for PR, that is permanent residence, if you have expired documents or your documents are expiring soon, immigration has said that you can only contact them when you're ready. So when you're ready to travel, when it's okay to travel from your end, from your country, and now you feel that you can travel, that's the only time you can contact them. Do not contact them sooner than that. And you can do that by filling a web form. Okay. Then another update that I have is for refugees, and I think I did this a while back, like its own kind of a video. So right now, refugee applications are being initiated online by email. Okay, so please refer to that video that I made. I'm also going to attach it in the description part of this video. So refugee applications are now done online. Okay, the other thing that I want to say with regards to work permit and study permit applications, they are being processed, but you must file them online. Yes, only online applications are being considered. So if you want to apply for your study permit or for your work permit, make sure you file that online. Okay. Something else that I have observed myself is that eligibility is getting tighter and tougher. We've seen, we were thinking, and a lot of people were thinking that the CRS score, especially for express entry, we were hoping that it would come down because of this COVID situation. Unfortunately, the CRS score is looking constant. It's constant. It's up there in the upper 470s. So with that, what I'm seeing is that eligibility is getting tighter. So if you're not under 31, you need to evaluate carefully your immigration goals. You need to see how best you can do to maximize your CRS score, because if it makes a mistake to go over the 478, if we go over that, it's going to be very hard even for people who are like 30 years old. If you don't have anything more than a degree, and you don't have the best English, I see a situation whereby people now will have to do French to be able to qualify, unless maybe you have a sibling in Canada. So make sure you check if you're working with a consultant, with a lawyer, please make sure that you're maximizing all your points as much as possible, your CRS score, because it's getting so competitive, very, very, very competitive. So again, if you're over 31, please evaluate. And you only have a degree and you have hopes to be in the express entry pool and to get an invitation without getting a job or without getting a provincial nomination, you need to ask yourself, you need to be honest with yourself as to what you're gaining by being in the express entry. So if you're gonna go through the provincial nomination process, please make sure that you maximize also your chances of getting that provincial nomination. Okay, make sure that you're targeting the right provinces, you're checking the occupations in demand in various provinces, just so that you're not wasting your time in the pool hoping just to get an invitation by any province. Okay, all right. Again, I just want to say, and I've also observed this, but every time with increased demand comes increased cases of fraud and misinformation. Everywhere these days, Canada is a hot cake. We've seen what happened with this COVID-19. Of course, there's frustrations in other countries, but also other countries and people abroad have been watching how Canada has treated its people during this season of COVID-19. And a lot of Canadians who are struggling were able to get that subsidy like the CRB, and even students, even international students, a lot of people are able to get that kind of subsidy. Business people were able to get business loans. So those benefits were not available in a lot of countries, and that kind of, those kind of benefits, anything positive like that tends to attract a lot of people who are out there. So be very careful. And again, we also saw what happened in the US. So now almost everybody who was trying to immigrate to the US now is also looking at Canada as a potential destination. So that is increasing the demand, and maybe that's why we're seeing the CRS score rise so rapidly. So make sure that you're not falling in the hands of fraudsters, and you're also not getting misinformation. Make sure you get your information from the right places. The government of Canada has that website. You can always refer to that website all the time, because that is always our Bible. Even people like us who offer immigration services, we are guided by that website and the Constitution and stuff like that, and case laws. So always make sure that you're getting the right information. Okay? I say this, with every bad thing comes a good thing. So the people who found themselves stranded in Canada, that who couldn't go back to their countries, whether they were visitors, whether they were international students, whether they were, temporary workers, all those people, this is the time for them to take advantage of all the programs that are here in Canada to immigrate, because Canada has been trying so hard to retain the people who are already here, either through the Canadian Experience class, even studies, even through provincial nominations. They are giving a lot of nominations to people who qualify, who are here in Canada. So if you're a visitor, before your visitor visa expires and maybe you've renewed or you've even gotten a visitor record, please, this is a time for you to apply for that study permit. Yes, because you're already in Canada, you don't have to leave Canada. You may also want to look for a job, because today if you get a job and you have that job offer, you can always apply for a work permit without having to leave Canada. Okay, so those are good things that the people who are here can take advantage of. Okay, another update, it's on passports. For a long time, people could not apply for passports. Right now, you can do that. If you need to travel within 30 days, if you need your passport within 30 days, you need to book an appointment for your application. Okay, but yes, you can apply for a passport now from within Canada. Study permits. I want to answer a question, because someone asked me, there are people who had their study permits approved before March 18, before this whole shenanigan started, and they want to know whether they can travel to Canada. The fact that your study permit was approved at that time, the government has said that that doesn't guarantee you entry to Canada. So you must talk to your school, see whether you can study abroad, see whether you can even be able to travel here. So that the fact that you have that study permit that was approved before that does not guarantee you entry to Canada. Okay. And then of course I talked about the new pathway. Please look at the video that I made the other day. I released another video the other day, and it's a new pathway to permanent residency for asylum seekers who are in Canada, and that is for the people who were working in the healthcare, in the front lines during the pandemic. So you want to look at that, because if you're one of those, or someone who can benefit from that, that is a good program that they can always target. Okay, I have a quick update on the Canadian International Experience class. So this class is not sending out new rounds of invitations. So they've been put on hold until further notice. So the applications that are in process will not be closed or refused for lack of documentation or for lack of finishing applications in time. So for the IEC, that is the International Experience class participants who are outside Canada, if you're coming through the working holiday, the young professionals, or the international co-op classes, if you're coming through any of those, you can come to Canada if you already have a job offer. Then if you also have a quarantine plan, and you also have a POE letter of introduction, and you can show that you have adequate proof of health insurance. Those are the 4 requirements, but I'm also going to put the link, the government link, at the description part of this video, because it explains a lot on the other conditions in this class, because now they have so many conditions for the Canadian International Experience class. Okay. One good thing that I want to remind you, and I know maybe we talked about this in the past, if you're in Canada and you were an international student and you were laid off, you had a postgraduate work permit and you were laid off because of COVID-19 in such a way that you could not achieve the mandated work experience by your work permit. Now you can renew your postgraduate work permit to allow you to get the relevant work experience that you need to be able to apply for the Canadian Experience class. Okay, yes, in the past you were not able to renew a postgraduate work permit unless in very, very, very few cases, like maybe if your passport had expired before your time, but right now if you're laid off and you couldn't get that relevant work experience, you can renew your postgraduate work permit. Okay, so please get going, because you need to acquire your work experience as soon as you can, so that you can take advantage of the Canadian Experience class right now, because you know, they are doing a lot of draws in the express entry pool for the Canadian Experience class, and that we've seen that in that class they are really picking lower points than the 470s we see for the overall federal skilled worker class. Okay, all right, so yeah, that's all. I just want to remind you, this is the time. This is the time to apply. If you want to apply, if you're thinking about Canada, if you've been postponing, if you've been procrastinating, I think this is the time to do it, because things with regards to immigration, the competition is only gonna get tighter. Okay, it's only gonna get tighter, and then it's gonna get harder to come to Canada. So please take advantage today. Do what you can today. Get ready for that exam, you know, resit your English test, do that French if you can, you know, maximize your CRS scores, do whatever you need to do today. Try and get that job. Look for the best provincial nomination. Evaluate your provinces carefully before you get into the pool, because you just don't want to get into the pool without targeting the right kind of a province. Okay, all right guys, thank you so much. I will see you at my next video. Please take care.